Good day, everyone. How y'all doing? This is my weekly outlook for the week of Sunday, October 19th, 2025. Before that, I just review what I analyzed last week and how that played out. All right. So last week on AUD USD, I was expecting the market to continue selling lower, and it did do that. Didn't quite make it to the zone, but it did sell before making all this noise up in here. Next was Euro USD, Euro futures. I expect the market to continue selling. I predicted that it was going to break through this level. It did not do that. All it did was create a lower low, which uh, it did its job at that point. So that's how that played out. Next, I have GBP USD. I was expecting the market to sell lower. It did sell lower, create a lower low. It didn't make it to my zone. Again, it did its job by creating a lower low um, before reversing and beginning to buy. And last but not least, um, for the yen futures, I had said that the market was going to be buying that week, and the market did buy. It brought up here to the zone. All right, moving on to this week, starting off with the DXY dollar index. Um, so looking at this trend here compared to the previous trend, the market overall is buying, but currently right now it is selling. With that being said, um, it is also pulling back as we speak. Now, the market can continue pulling back, right? As long as it doesn't exceed this high, and then continue down, or from this point that it's already at, it can just continue selling. Um, but I like the point is where it's at right now, and I also like this area of confluence, support and resistance level. So if the market was to come back to those levels, I can foresee it continuing lower. My next destination will be the zone that I've marked up down here. So with that being said, dollar is selling. So AU, EU, and GU, they're inversely correlated to that. So they should be buying this week. And UJ should be correlating with this and should be selling. Um, let's get into that. So AU is actually not buying. My bias is still a sell at the moment. Right. Last week it didn't make it to the zone. Um, it just made all this messiness in here. So it's really not going anywhere. But as a trader, I have to pick a direction, right? And I still am biased that the market will continue lower. Not certain if it will get to the zone, but with all this going on, this is actually not something that I'm looking to personally partake in until things clear up for me. So that way I'm not guessing. Next, we have Euro USD. My bias is a buy here, right? Right now, what it's doing, it is pulling back. Um, it's at a nice area of confluence right now. I can see the market. See I can potentially see the market from this point, continuing higher. If not, it could come lower as long as it doesn't come below this low here. Um, I can see it come to this area as well before turning around and proceeding higher. This area up here will be my destination, um, but at minimum, I will at least say it'll make it a higher high. But definitely need to have some entry confirmations to present itself before confirming now that the market is pushing higher. Next, I have GBP USD. My bias is also a buy here. Right now, it's pulling back, which is good. Market doesn't just move one direction, right? It has to take those breaks. So now that we have that break, um, this it could actually just continue higher from this point, or it can continue pulling back. I believe this is a good area of confluence here for it to turn around and proceed higher. I believe it can get this high, but we will know as the week transpires. And last but not least, I have here's DJBY. Buy series of sell, looking at this trend. Uh, Compared to this trend, it's a very small trend we had here on buy as they sell. As of right now, it's pulling back. It's at a great area of confluence, right? Um, it's previously broken low. If the market continues to be continue selling from this point, will be great. But also, it could continue pulling back higher before proceeding down. So that is my analysis for this week. Thank y'all for listening.